What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we are talking about the Orly Surrealist collection for fall 2022, and let me tell you, I am so incredibly excited. The fall season is 100% my favorite time of year, not only because it's just an amazing time overall, but because fall nail polishes are my absolute favorite releases of the year. There is just something about the colors that just speak to me over any other season, and I am just so happy to come across them and to start reviewing them. So this is just the best time. If you haven't heard of Orly before, they are a salon brand that is vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients. They are cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals, and they're also listed as being formulated without harmful ingredients. You probably already know I'm a big fan of Orly. I have actually done a couple of collaborations with them in the past, which is really awesome, but I also just love their polishes in general. So as soon as I saw these, I was so excited. The color story is just stunning. But let me show you the swatches first. We've got 6 brand new polishes. We've got a couple different finishes in there, and we've got a pretty unusual set of colors here. So let's do the swatches first, then we'll talk a little bit more about pricing, availability, and then we'll also talk about my thoughts on them. So roll the footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I'm using the Orly Bonder base coat, to nobody's surprise. So first up we have the shade Persistent Memory, which is a gorgeous deep red cranberry cream. This is the type of shade that I will definitely be wearing for the rest of the year. I love it for fall, I love it for winter, and the formula is so good and creamy. And also a quick side note, I have to say I absolutely love the inspiration for this collection. I love surrealist art. I love the persistence of memory. I actually used to have a print of the disintegration of the persistence of memory. That is one of my favorite paintings. I think it's super gorgeous. So it's really cool to have a polish with a name that is a call to it. But yeah, here it is in 2 coats. It's just an incredible formula. It's not that jelly-like formula that you usually see for reds. It's definitely distinctly a cream finish. Next up we have the shade Stop the Clock, and this one is another really beautiful deep red color that just screams fall winter to me. And oh my goodness, would you look at the opacity on this one. It actually ended up giving me full coverage in that first coat, and it looked so beautiful on. I am showing you a second coat, but honestly with my short nails, if I can get away with doing 1 coat, I will just wear it as a 1 coater, and this is one of the shades that I definitely will be wearing in 1 coat. I love how deep and dark it is, but I love that when the light hits it, you get that really intense red shimmer in there. It just looks lit from within, and it's so beautiful. Next up we have the shade Elysian Fields, and this one is a really interesting olive green kind of shade. It definitely has a little bit of that chartreuse energy to it. There's a strong yellow undertone, and I was very excited when I saw this one because if you know me, you probably know I absolutely love what I like to call ugly pretty nail polishes. Colors that are just so ugly that they're almost pretty, and I think this definitely falls into that. It's perfect coverage in 2 coats, and I think it's just such a unique shade that works really well for this time of year. I already anticipate that I'm going to get a ton of comments in this video about what this polish looks like, because every time I pull out a polish like this, you guys love to tell me your favorite thing that this polish looks like, so go ahead, leave it in the comments. I already know it's coming. Next up we have the shade Metamorphosis, and this to me is the standout of the collection, which is saying a lot because I think every single color in this collection is absolutely gorgeous, but this one is just unreal. I love the combination. It's called Metamorphosis, and it's this deep teal base color that has this coppery pink shimmer running throughout. I don't think I have any polishes like this. When I saw it, I was so impressed with how unique it looked, and I think there's this really beautiful dustiness that comes from having these 2 colors, this orangey coppery pink kind of shimmer within this teal base. It really complements each other, and you would think that they don't go well together and they might kind of clash, but I think it just works so well. It looks gorgeous in 2 coats, and again, it's just a really standout color. It's very unique. Next up, we have the shade Dreamers Awake, and this one is a light gray cream finish. And this is another one I was just very excited to have because I cannot get enough of gray nail polishes. I feel like I talk a lot about how gray is kind of my favorite neutral color to wear, just because I think it always works with every other color, and it's the perfect neutral that's not a nude shade. So I think it's really beautiful. I ended up getting full coverage in 2 coats, which was pretty surprising because it's a light shade, but I do have short nails, so if you have long nails, you might need a third for this one. And last but not least, we have this beautiful off-white cream shade, and I am about to butcher this pronunciation. I did look it up, but for all of my French followers, I'm sorry in advance, but I'm going to try my best. Are you ready? It's called Ceci n'est pas Blanc. So hopefully I did that right. But anyway, it's a really beautiful, creamy, off-white beige color. It's definitely a nice light shade that looks almost white on the nails, but it's not so starkly white that it looks like whiteout. And surprisingly with this one as well, I ended up getting full coverage in 2 coats, and I would honestly just wear this as a 2-coater. Now, just because I know I have pretty short nails, I ended up putting on a third. I wanted to see if that made it look any more opaque, but it still looked the same in 2 and 3 coats. So if you've got nails that are around my length, I think you can get away with doing 2 coats as well. But yeah, it's a beautiful shade. I love the name. I love the reference to the painting, and I just love the inspiration for this collection in general. I think it was very well done. So here are all of the shades together, and let me tell you, maybe it's because this is the first fall collection of the year, but I have to say this is my favorite color story that I have seen in a really long time for fall shades. I feel like Orly managed to really nail the color combos here in that they feel very distinctly autumnal, but at the same time, the combination of color that we have in this color story is very unlike what other brands have put out in recent years. So I think it's just the perfect mix of being very unique and being very appropriate for the season. So very excited with every single one of these. I would wear every single one of them. And I also love seeing them do these shimmery formulas because I think that's something that they really excel at. Obviously, I love their cream formula as well, but I think they just make such beautiful, unique shimmers. So those are the polishes, and I am absolutely in love with them. I'm sure this did not come as a surprise to anybody, but I just love the color story. I feel like it's so different from what we typically see from fall collections, but it still manages to feel very classically autumn. And I just think it's so creative. I love the colors. I love the formulas. I love the inspiration behind it. It just feels overall like an absolute win. I think that over any other brand, Orly just curates their colors so well. I genuinely can't think of anybody that compares, because when I open up one of those little 6-packs of Orly polishes, I feel like I'm always just wowed by not only the colors, but like almost the way they organize them also just flows so nicely. So I can't get enough of them. I think they're absolutely stunning. But yeah, so these polishes come in 18 milliliter bottles. I always like to remind you that is absolutely massive. For reference, OPI is 15 milliliters, and that's a pretty big bottle, so you definitely get a lot for your money. They also have a wide flat brush with a rounded tip for easy application, and they do have a rubberized cap, which makes opening the bottle super easy as well. I usually get my Orly polishes from HB Beauty Bar, and you can also use my discount code KELLI to get 22% off your order there. So I'm gonna link it down below. I also highly recommend grabbing the Orly Bonder base coat. That is just pretty much my favorite base coat of all time. I use it all the time. I'm sure you've seen it a lot on this channel, so I'll link that down below as well. But yeah, that is it for my thoughts on this collection. I feel like I gushed a lot in this video, but I couldn't help myself. It's the first fall collection of the year, and I'm just very excited. But I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of these polishes? Which color is your favorite? Which color is your least favorite? Leave it all in the comments below. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. I also have a second channel, my vlog channel, where I post a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. And I have a podcast now, so if you're interested in listening to that, I will link it down in the description. And of course, a huge shout out to my Cosmic Admirals on Patreon, Amanda M, Rocket Man's daughter, and Paola. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Caroline, and Caroline wants to know, have you ever read a fictional book that's changed or impacted your life? If yes, what was it and why? That is a really difficult question. For one reason or another, I find myself very connected to a lot of fictional books. A lot of times it's just because I feel like I relate to a character so well, but there are a couple of books that come to mind. You know, it's been so long since I've read it. It's been like, I want to say over 4 years, but I read Misery by Stephen King for the first time in I guess maybe 2018, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I don't remember the experience of it anymore, but I do remember thinking this is the best book ever. Like, it was just written so well, and I enjoy reading horror type of novels, so that was one of them. But that's kind of a weird answer because I don't know that that was life-changing, but I know that in my little review of it on Goodreads, I just wrote best book I've ever read. But I think it was really beautifully written. And the other book I can think of is actually a trilogy. It's Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I really enjoyed that. It's a young adult fantasy book, but I think the reason that I found myself absolutely in love with it is because, again, it was just written so beautifully, but that book specifically made me want to write more. I've always wanted to be a writer, and that's something that I just do as a hobby in my spare time. But I think reading that book really made me feel a stronger love for writing than I ever had before. I think that was another life-changing one. My most recent reread, which was a while ago, is what inspired me to take a writing class, which I did, I think, in 2019. So I just feel like it kind of reignited my love for writing as well, just because I thought it was written so beautifully and it really made me feel so strongly for this story. So yeah, that was another book that I would say was pretty life-changing. Trilogy, not just a book. Witcher 2, I mean, these are like opposite ends of the spectrum, like a Stephen King novel and a young adult fantasy book. I don't know, I find myself enjoying a lot of different types of stories. But yeah, if you have a book that you would like to share in the comments that changed your life, let us know. We can chat about it. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!